So I was at work yesterday, and a lady called me inquiring about her minivan reservation. And I told her, unfortunately, ma'am, we don't have any minivans available. She goes, how am I supposed to fit 5 people and 2 90-pound dogs in a car? I'm like, well, ma'am, we have a 7-passenger SUV that's going to accommodate for you. She's like, 2 90-pound dogs aren't going to fit in that. So I told her, ma'am, unfortunately, we have a no pet policy. You're not supposed to have pets in my car. So you telling me that you have dogs, that's not, okay. And she then goes off and goes, you know what? Fuck you. I rent from you guys all the time, and I always do that. So, I told her, listen, ma'am, I'm going to hang up on you now. Click.
Just like that.
Yeah.
The double hang up.
The double hang up.
I'm going to hang up and click.
Yeah, I'm not going to take that. Fuck you.
We actually all have customer service experience here. So we definitely can relate to that.
Yeah, it caught me off guard. And it was at like 7:30 in the morning, too. Just opened.
Sometimes you just want to tell them, fuck you, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can.
You just got to hold that in.
But you just let it out.
Yeah. Shocked.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
The double hang up.
Speak your mind, bro. Speak it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, welcome everybody to the FATstaters show. This is our episode 3. This is brought to you by FATstats, and I actually am welcomed by 3, actually including me, of the FATstats crew. 3 of the 5, right? So myself, Bobby, you got Mike Papa, and you got Alec DePaffy.
Yes, sir.
And you can find him at, he is not super active on Twitter, but you can find him at The Real Papa.
With the 3 in real.
Yeah, the E is a 3.
Shout out Dwayne Wade.
And you can find me at A DePaffy.
At A DePaffy.
Yep.
Right? All right. And I'm at Bobby_Souza. So this is brought to you by FATstats, right? We're analyzing the game of football, and we're trying to bring it to you in the most entertaining way possible, right? So we right now we're starting in the QB realm, in the quarterback realm, and we've built a grading system tailored to the NFL QB or towards quarterbacks in general, right? And from that has spawned a number of different analysis that we've done, including what we're going to be getting into fantasy, but also the upcoming 2018 NFL draft, which I know you'll catch on later.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about the upcoming draft and all that later on in the show.
Awesome. Okay, so what we wanted to talk about today was, or what we're going to do, since it's the off season, it's a little slow, we want to do a recap of the divisions, of each division, right? And we're going to start today with AFC South, which is that's your favorite division, which is your team, Tennessee Titans, Jaguars,
Duval.
We know now that we have Alec on the show, we have to talk AFC South. Being a Jags fan, Titans fan here, we got a lot of knowledge about that division, so why not?
Yeah. And so, all right, I mean, I it is what it is. So, let's start with Blake Bortles then, right? Want to get right into the Jags?
All right. So Blake Bortles last season had a FAT grade of 69.7. Nice. That ranked him 18th. So just a quick little nuggets about the Jags and what I think they should do at quarterback. If we want to be serious about winning the Super Bowl this year, I personally think we need to make a splash move, whether that's sign a Tyrod Taylor, break the bank and pay $30 million for Kirk Cousins, or mortgage the future and trade up for one of these stud quarterbacks. There's 5 really good quarterbacks coming out. And if, we feel confident in that quarterback, let's give up 2 first-round picks and, more picks to secure a franchise quarterback. But if we don't go that route, we can definitely still win with Blake Bortles. We, made it to the AFC Championship game last year with him. Our defense is legit, so maybe we sign Blake Bortles. Not at $19 million. I would like to see us work out a deal, maybe a 3-year at $10 million a year, and then sign a backup to compete with them, and then maybe in the second round draft a quarterback on day 2 or even round 3.
So what exactly do you want them to do? It seems to me like you want them to go after another quarterback.
I mean, I want to win. I would like to see him make a splash move. I don't feel comfortable giving Kirk Cousins $30 million a year. That's gonna hurt our defense when it's time to lock up Jalen Ramsey, Lord Ramsey, and Yannick Ngakoue, Miles Jack. So maybe us going after Tyrod Taylor wouldn't be that bad of a move.
So you're willing, because that our quarterback position is the most important
Oh, yeah.
in the NFL, right? Although you got to where you guys got into the AFC Championship game, it took a very great performance from Blake Bortles against the Steelers to get there. And also, you guys had it against the Patriots, and it took a very great performance from Blake Bortles. It takes the quarterback
Honestly,
to get there.
The thing against the Patriots, we didn't put our foot down their throat like the Eagles did in the Super Bowl. That's how we should have played. We got that 10-point lead, and then we got a little scared. We started running the ball. We couldn't run the ball, and we should have stepped down their throat and been aggressive all game.
Well, that's also what your game plan is. That's not your offense. Your offense can't score points like the Eagles can. Then again, it also has to do with your quarterback, Blake Bortles. I just feel like the way he performed, I mean, he didn't have a great year. He had a great,
November? Yeah, he had a
great
good
November,
three-game stretch.
Three-game stretch. He played well enough, and your team got far enough that I feel like you guys need to give him a shot and keep going with him. Now, when I say that, I think you guys need to bring in competition and have him battle it with another guy.
Yeah.
Maybe not a proven guy like Kirk. I don't know about a Tyrod because he's going to start somewhere.
The league kind of is a little iffy on Tyrod for some reason. I think he's a great quarterback.
But
maybe we can go one of the quarterbacks from Minnesota. They have Case, Teddy, and Sam. Two of them probably got to go.
If you bring in one of those from Minnesota to battle with Blake, that'd be a very interesting storyline because if you get Case Keenum, I prefer Case Keenum to start over Blake.
Or what if we trade 2 second-round picks for Nick Foles?
But listen, I just want
That's a tough one.
I just want to preference the Minnesota Vikings and the Eagles' offensive schemes. The way they run their offense is very friendly to the quarterback. I mean, the fact that Sam Bradford would have had a monster year with the Vikings.
Yeah,
absolutely, no doubt in
MVP
my mind.
season,
Case
probably.
Keenum had what he had. Not saying Case Keenum isn't a good quarterback. He had a great year. But that's it. The system matters. And I don't know if you bring Case Keenum over to the Jags with your system, if he will be as effective. He might,
But I mean, we also dumbed down the offense a lot to, hide Blake's weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're strong.
But we also
defense,
got Lenny Fournette, so
running game.
Exactly.
That's
so we
why-
want to run the ball. That's our identity.
Right.
But we also need a quarterback that can win you a game.
Yeah.
Play action passes. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
With your offense, you got speed on as receivers too. Play action passes.
If he's on the board, pick 28. I wouldn't mind Lamar Jackson. Excuse me.
Lamar Jackson. You keep on saying Lamar Miller.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's the Lamar thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It must be.
Well, so I'll say this. We all know what we see in Blake, right? We all know what we see. We ups and downs, right? He was the fourth worst in consistency in the AFC South, 24th worst, or 24th best, I should say, in the NFL in consistency, right? We know that when we see with our eyes, when we look from a fantasy perspective, when we look at our fact grades consistently, he is not good.
No, up and down.
Right? Up and down. And he has these flashes of like, holy crap, if he can put that together. And you just wonder why that is, why he just snaps sometimes, and that consistency alone would drive me nuts. As a Jags fan, as from the coaching staff, from an organization perspective, you want someone that's just be consistent. Whether you're just average, whatever, be consistent because the defense is going to handle a lot of it, but just don't throw away the game.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
My opinion, I think you should keep Blake Bortles another year for sure.
I mean,
give him a chance. I mean, you guys went far enough. He didn't play. There were some games that I was like, oh, it's typical Blake. I mean, if you're gonna run for 89 yards and only throw for 86 in a playoff game and still win, it's kind of crazy. but you guys do need more from him this next year. If he's gonna be your quarterback in the future, you need more from him.
He always does enough to keep his job.
Yeah,
it's like you know what you have in him.
Exactly.
It's the thing.
I think we might see some a big QB move out of Jacksonville this offseason. You know what you have from him, and what you have from him is inconsistency. So it's ironic because you don't know what you have from him game to game, but you know that.
But the thing is Tom Coughlin willing to sacrifice the second year out of his 4-year contract on Blake Bortles again? He wasted, a year. If we had a different quarterback, we could have won in New England and could have been in the Super Bowl. Blake got us there, but Blake didn't win us that game.
He did well against the Patriots, though.
He did do well.
Aside from that Bills game.
I mean, if Miles Jack didn't get ruled down, Jags win that game.
Aside from the Bills game, he had a good postseason. I will say, as a Titans fan, I do not want you guys to draft Lamar Jackson, and I do not want you guys to get Kirk Cousins.
All right, and I will say this about draft, since we just talked about Jags and draft. As much as I love Fournette and how good of a player he is, the Jags should have taken Watson at pick 4.
Yeah, well,
I'm just gonna say that
a lot of teams should have.
Yeah. I mean, technically the Browns should have took him at 1, yes. But the way with Watson on the board and Leonard Fournette, the Jags should have taken Deshaun Watson. The kid is legit.
Yeah,
the kid is legit.
I've said this so many times. I was upset that the Texans took Deshaun Watson because I thought it was going to be good, and I'm upset about it. And I'm glad the Jags didn't take him, but the Browns should have taken him. They should have just got it over with, got their quarterback.
Well, let's move into Watson then, because honestly, Bill O'Brien is a great. That's a big reason why, right? And that's a big reason why, right? It's always hard to say if the Browns would have took Watson, would he have been as effective? You don't know.
Hugh Jackson could have, tailored an offense that could have made Watson look good. Plus, they got Josh Gordon back late in the year, so Josh Gordon and Watson. Oof.
I think he would have been okay there. He definitely wouldn't have matched the production he had in Houston because they don't have the same talent they do in Cleveland as they do in Houston, and coaching is definitely a big factor. But I feel like he definitely would have been successful over in Cleveland.
I mean, I think he has the it factor, and when you have that it factor, it honestly doesn't matter where you play. If you're a winner, you're gonna win.
Yeah, I did not see that when I watched in college, and taking away the fact that I'm a FSU fan, when I watched Deshaun Watson, I didn't see him coming to the league like this. I just didn't see it. He can win games, but I didn't see the fact that I didn't think he could take over games because that defense on Clemson was amazing, right? And it was really strong. And I didn't think Watson could take over games with his arm if he needed to. Very mobile, I get it. But mobility only lasts you so long in the NFL. We've seen it, right? So you need to make plays with your arms. So I just didn't think he would get there. And he proved me wrong. In the small sample size that he played in, he proved me wrong, right? And I don't know how much of that is the rookie. I'm going to give him where it's due because he in our FATstats grades, he didn't make our in the overall rank list because he only played 7 games. However, when we looked at those 7 games, he had a FAT grade of an 84.8.
Yeah, it ranked 4th.
It would have ranked 4th. Yeah, it would have took Ben Roethlisberger's place in our top 5, and he deserved it.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like some of those touchdowns he threw, specifically against Kansas City, were late in the game, garbage time touchdowns.
And we do take that into consideration, though. So, the fact that we take the garbage time into consideration,
and he still had an 84.
He still had a great, yeah.
Look what he did against Cincinnati to win the game, that TD run.
Yeah.
What was that, a 40-yard run to win the game?
Oh, to win the game. Exactly. Well, we got a lot of flack on that. Do you remember when we first put out the grade, we got some feedback on Twitter that no way he had a great game if you look at the film. But we watched the film. We looked at the game, right? Yes, it was his first start. And he came in and he looked a little off at plays. But
he missed some throws.
Yeah, he missed some throws, and maybe in the pocket he just looked a little frazzled. but he made things happen with his legs, and he made some passes to Hopkins. He ultimately won the game for them. They would have lost, and we take that into consideration. A great game for his first start. That was his first start, right?
Yeah. Well, do we have his grade, Andy, to see what he got that game?
Yeah. Let's see right here. Actually, I have it. Who was it against?
Cincinnati. It was a Thursday night game, I believe. Or was it?
Watson. Was it week 1? No, week 2, right?
Week 2 or 3?
It was 3.
80. Okay, in week 2, week 2 he had 82.5 versus at Cincinnati.
Okay, so that was his first start.
82.5, which was 5th in the week. 5th on the week for us, and that was his first start, and we got a lot of pushback on it. People didn't like what they were seeing, but again, when people just watch a game, they remove a lot of the aspect of the game, right? They only think about the things that may be the most negative things, right? We're looking at every single play, and we're doing that. And when you look at every single play, he had a top 5 score that week.
Yeah. I mean, when Watson was healthy, the Texans' offense was ridiculous. Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins were catching 2 TDs a game, it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
So the lowest point of the Titans season was when the first time we played the Texans, which I don't even want to talk about, but we lost 57-14.
Ooh.
Deshaun Watson, I remember when I was watching it, honestly, I don't know why I didn't turn it off. I watched the whole damn thing. Marcus gets hurt, which was terrible, but Deshaun Watson he was hitting everything. Like, our defense just could not stop him. He was just doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. And I was like, that even killed me even more that they got him. I was just like, come on now, this isn't even fair.
And then didn't Will Fuller return a punt against you guys that game?
They probably scored every play.
Just when you thought the AFC South was up for like Andrew Luck's hurt. Jags are the Jags. Before this year, Jags are the Jags. Blake Bortles. Texans were the Texans. They were going to have Tom Savage. And you were like, AFC South for the taken, it's ours. Yeah. Mariota's going to get even better because he had a great year last year. And then...
Yeah, no, there was a lot of people picking us to win the division. I for sure thought we would, 100%. It still came close to it.
Life happens.
Yeah. But... Yeah, we should have won.
Yeah, that game specifically was the 3rd best game out of any AFC South quarterback in the year, right? So
Watson versus the Titans.
Versus the Titans.
Yeah, he killed us.
What was his grade?
91.3.
Wow, 91.3.
Yep. So
do you have that game handy? Like, how many air yards did he throw that game at?
I don't have that right in front of me. I can look while we're talking.
Okay.
What I want to know, which we'll find out next season, is what he will do next season. Can he be the same player he was? I'm not worried about the injury because I'm sure he'll be able to come back from it.
I think so.
Can he be that same explosive, dynamic player? I agree. I think he can be. But it's a whole nother season, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, in that 7-game stretch, I mean, he was on fire. He threw 18 true touchdowns from our FATstats, which would have ranked 4th in the NFL. Oh, no, excuse me. That was 18th in the NFL in only 7 games. So he was middle of the pack with only 7 games.
Only played 7 games. So yeah, he definitely would have. If he was able to continue that throughout the whole season and he didn't get hurt, he could have been up on the top, number 1. Could have been.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Bortles threw 23 and he was ranked 4th. So I mean, Watson wasn't that far off. He probably could have thrown 30.
Yeah, Watson threw 164 completed air yards against the Titans, which was 8th best that week.
Okay, so
he threw. It was about 6.6 air yards per throw.
Okay.
So nothing. I mean,
how many?
It was a good game.
Yeah.
But
we just played no defense. We couldn't guard anybody.
Yeah, that was the problem.
That's part of it.
All right, so let's talk about Marcus.
All right. Speaking of Marcus, so last year, we'll say the 2016 season, when he actually progressed from his rookie year, in my opinion, he played really well. I thought this year was his breakout year. He was gonna turn. I don't want to say turn it around. He was gonna. This was his breakout year. He was gonna go all out, and he was gonna be the top 5 quarterback in the league. That was absolutely not the case. He completely regressed. I don't want to say completely regressed. His stat line completely regressed. The running game on the Titans itself wasn't as good as it was the year before that, which definitely hindered his performance. But he definitely looked uncomfortable. His mechanics looked off. It was weird to see because the year 2 looked very promising and looked real good, and then this year, like, how does this happen? Now maybe because he had to recover from that broken leg against the Jags the year before.
And didn't he tweak his hamstring early in
he tweaked
the season?
He had a hamstring early in the season, and the week 4 is when he got hurt against the Texans.
Yeah, because I remember grading him sometimes, and he looked like he was hurting a lot more than the public knew. Because in the pocket, I mean, he wasn't really himself.
I'm still waiting for him to play a full season. He missed 2 games this year. I'm hoping he does. Hopefully next year. But he missed 2 games this year. I feel like he definitely played hurt through most of the season, which a lot of players do. So you can't really say anything about that. But what I will say, even though he regressed stat line wise, Bob has a consistency ranking on him, and also one of the main things I can say, 2 main things that he did very well. He definitely protected the ball in regards to fumbling. He has to have a lot of fumbling issues. He did not fumble last year. I'll double check that. I don't think he fumbled at all. He might have fumbled once, but he definitely brought it. He had like 13 the year before that, and he definitely fixed that issue, which is good to see. But the other thing was play action. He was a very good play action quarterback, and I'm looking forward to seeing that next year with the new coaching staff, aka the Rams OC, Matt LaFleur.
Oh, do you want to see Sammy Watkins come down to Tennessee?
Ooh.
I wouldn't mind taking him. I would not mind that at all.
Yeah. You know, speaking of Sammy Watkins, that's a good point. What is Sammy known for? Take the top off the defense, right?
Deep ball.
Marcus, again, because I remember last year he was up there in average completed air yards, right? So the depth of the throw, he was up there with Jameis, and he might have been number 1.
It always comes
Marcus
back to
might have been
Jameis.
number 1. I'm just saying.
Always.
But
comes
listen,
back to
Marcus
Jameis.
Mariota this year was number 3 in completed air yards, despite this season, right? Maybe ups and what
was the
Jameis
number?
Winston was 1, 7 point. All right, he was actually 8 yards completed air yards.
Okay.
Carson Wentz was 2, 7.7. Marcus Mariota was 7.03, number 3.
Every two throws is a first down.
Yeah, basically he was airing
And
the ball
some.
out. You get Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, and Corey Davis. Hopefully
He's accurate
he
downfield.
doesn't get hurt again. But he had 2 fumbles last year, compared to 9 and 10 from the years before that. So he definitely fixed that problem. But yeah, he definitely there was a knock on him. He couldn't throw deep coming out of college, and he definitely. I feel the year before that and last year, he has shown that he can throw deep. I remember the play where Delaney Walker was covered by like 5 Colt defenders, and he put the ball perfectly for like a 30 yards. Like, it was beautiful.
Was that the Monday night game?
I want to say yes.
Because I remember grading that game, and I was pretty impressed with him that game. I thought he had a very good game. He looked confident. He was making nice throws to Eric Decker, Delaney Walker. But the one knock, I mean, only 14 true TDs.
Right.
Ranks 23rd.
He regressed this year. Plain and simple. As much as he's gonna be fine, I believe he'll be fine if he's healthy. He was gonna be fine.
That's on record too, Bob.
I said fine, right? That is not. I didn't say spectacular. I didn't say the guy's gonna win a Super Bowl because he probably won't. But what I'm saying is, he regressed. He was plain and simple. Interceptable passes were up, right, year over year. He's right in the middle of the pack with pass attempts per interceptable pass, right? Every about 28 pass attempts, he was going to throw an interception, which is actually pretty good if you look. I mean, about 1 interception a game, you'd say, right?
It's still too much.
Too much.
Still too much.
Yeah.
He regressed a little bit.
He was the most regressed quarterback in the AFC South.
Yes. He was.
I mean, watching him this
Blake
year,
Bortles was the most improved. Just throwing that out there.
Via fat grade.
I feel like he could have been the most regressed out of the whole NFL. I mean, that's not the case. I don't think. But he had a bad year.
Our very own Austin did a write-up on the most regressed quarterbacks. Wasn't Marcus on the list?
Was Marcus on the list?
I don't think
might
he was.
have been.
I don't think he was.
He might have. I think he was.
But yeah, as a Titans fan, 100%, he regressed, and I was shocked. It was shocking to me because I thought he was gonna break out.
I mean, let's just face it. Mike Mularkey wasn't a good coach. Plain and simple.
Okay, so Mike Mularkey, I liked Mike Mularkey in a sense of he was a players guy. All the players liked him. The knock on him, he didn't have a good offensive scheme. The year before when we were able to run it and we were top 3 in rushing yards, he was good. He didn't want to fire his coaching staff. Didn't want to make changes when it obviously was needed, which is why he left. And I am glad he left. But I did like Mularkey.
One interesting nugget. He is a St. Thomas guy, local South Florida powerhouse football school.
Mm-hmm. Shout out. He was on our top 5 most disappointing list. He was number 5.
As he should be.
Dropped 7 grade points. He dropped from
Yikes.
8th to 16th. 8th to 19th when Austin wrote this article, but it was only through 15 weeks.
Okay.
But now he moved up 3 rankings, but still he got a 74. So everybody else did worse.
Yeah, he had a bad year. Definitely regressed. So with this new coaching staff, another year with these players, a whole offseason of not having to recover, and he can just focus on his mechanics, whatever he needs to. I'm excited again to see what he can do.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll have this year
Is
again.
it the best for Marcus Mariota future to sign a defensive-minded head coach?
I don't mind it because it's all about his positional coaches. I did want an offensive coach for him, like a Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yes, but I don't mind it because I think with the coaching staff they put together with him for Matt LaFleur and their quarterback coach Deshaun Watson last year, I'm okay with it. I think it more comes down to the OC and his game plan for it. So
that is true.
I'm okay with it.
Before we move on to Jacoby Brissett, I'll just end this unless you have anything else to say about Mariota. Fun stat here: his best game of the year, based on our fat grades, was Week 15 at San Francisco. He got a 97.1, which is very, very good.
When he ran the no huddle, which is what we need to do more of. Spread him out, just throw it.
Call him. Call the coach. Call Mularkey. Let him know.
Vrabel now.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Mularkey should have done it. He knows he should have done it. Anyway, Jacoby Brissett time.
All right, so Jacoby was not very good, but what did he come out? He came number 25th in our FATstats grades. Played 15 games. Yes. Now, keep in mind, he just came over from the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. He got traded in the middle of the preseason.
Very tough.
Yeah.
He came over as a fill-in for Andrew Luck because they know they weren't not going to go with Scott Tolzien all year.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so they put in Brissett. There were times when from just the eye test, you saw Brissett and you're like, whoa, this guy has a potential coming from the Patriots. He has the potential to be a very good, a decent starting quarterback.
He showed flashes.
Definitely a backup. Definitely a good backup.
A solid backup.
Solid backup. Showed flashes, right? And by flashes, so he had top 10 performances in fat grades this year. He had 5, which is the most out of the AFC South, believe it or not. Or actually, it's tied with Watson, but still 5 top 10 performances.
That's pretty interesting.
Very interesting, right? With that being said, he wasn't consistent. He was the most inconsistent quarterback in FATstats grades. And he was actually one of the worst in the whole NFL, definitely the worst in the AFC South. And that's why you just couldn't, and I'm not going to say a lot of it is because he's in a new system. He was trying to learn, that's so obvious, right? With that being said, maybe, I don't know, only with 15 games to look at, is the inconsistency something you have to look forward to if you're going to grab Brissett as a starter, or is he just going to stay as a backup to Luck?
His O-line was terrible. Don't get me wrong. He was sacked, third most fat sacks.
From a FATstats, third most, which was his fault.
Yeah, and on NFL.com, first most sacks.
Yeah, 52 times he was sacked.
Yeah.
First.
So what was that? What did we say?
27.
So 27 sacks were his fault.
Based
holding on the ball too long. That was one knock.
Correct.
When I would watch him, he would hold on to the ball too long. Maybe he's just trying to make something happen, but he should, release it quicker.
On that count, Mike, do you still have the thing up with the separation for wide receivers? Do you know where the Colts were in that? Because what would be interesting is you holding on to the ball for so long. Is it the wide receiver's fault? Now you have T.Y. Hilton, which is, I assume, pretty up there in separation.
Yeah, but I mean, you put two guys on T.Y., you can take T.Y. out of the game. And outside of T.Y. Hilton, who on the Colts is scaring you?
The tight end, Doyle, baby.
Yeah.
Doyle.
I mean, Doyle rules.
Doyle rules. All right, so this is on NFL Next Gen. So what this is separation at release. Based on wide receivers. So Indianapolis was ranked 9th with 2.96 average yards of separation. So they were up there. So they were able to get separation.
Okay.
I mean, T.Y. definitely creates separation.
Yeah,
that
100%. So I think it was just him not finding the right read.
New system.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, coming in preseason and having to learn this whole system and then create timing and everything, you just can't mesh that well in that little bit of a time.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a rough for him. I think he's definitely another year of starting, maybe he can get better. The Colts are hoping Luck is healthy.
Yeah. That's a big question. Is Luck ever going to be the same again?
No.
I really hope so.
I mean,
know
does he
you
even
guys
have
aren't hoping because it's going to be trouble for y'all, but from a football fan, and I hope he comes back healthy as ever.
I do too, only because it'll make the AFC South even that more interesting.
Yeah.
It's already interesting with Deshaun Watson now, and then the year that the Titans and Jags had going to the playoffs. If you get Andrew Luck back, I mean, it's going to be a good division.
Yeah, but I mean, a throwing shoulder injury, he hasn't thrown a ball in 2 years almost.
Yeah.
Does he even have a shoulder anymore? Does anyone know? Has anyone seen Andrew Luck's right shoulder?
He's got a whole new arm, whole new shoulders, robotic.
That. I mean, he was in England rehabbing sketch.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the same. It's I don't know.
Maybe Colts go quarterback at number 3. I mean, they're sitting with a high pick, Maybe trade Andrew Luck. Get something for him. He might never be the same. Some team will give you something for him.
Saquon.
I think.
I don't know. Just like the Jags, they took the running back when they should have went quarterback.
I like Marlon Mack though.
They need a running back.
I mean, that's the thing. The Colts should have used Marlon Mack a lot more than they did this season. I don't know what the hell their OC was thinking. That guy can play.
They just want to give Frank. They want to run Frank Gore.
Where did Frank go? The U.
He still had a good season, though.
Running back U, by the way. Running back U.
He's still playing good.
RBU.
I think
we got it.
We get it right. I think that it's going to be Andrew Luck and Brissett on the depth charts. And Andrew Luck's going to get hurt or not. He's going
knock on wood.
He's going to get hurt.
I mean, that O-line is atrocious.
They should draft an offensive lineman or free agency get an offensive lineman. But Brissett, I feel like Brissett is going to play again next year for the Colts.
All right. Last thing I'll say, and let's move on to we're pushing some time here. Last thing I'll say about Brissett, if I can find one gold nugget besides the fact that he had top 10 performances, his pass attempts per interceptable ratio, which is a stat that we tracked, he was 8th best in the NFL. Every 36 passes, he would throw an interception. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was careful with the ball.
Very careful with the ball, right? But he took chances too. I loved that. He still wanted to air out the ball, but no, he did hit Doyle a lot.
Yeah.
His tight end was his best friend, which makes sense.
How about that game against Buffalo in the snow he played?
Oh, yeah.
I had to watch that. I had to grade that game, and oh, man, it was tough.
Oh, LaShawn McCoy when he broke that touchdown.
I mean, I think Brissett, if you can have the stats for that game, might have only thrown 8 completions or something.
They barely threw the ball there.
Yeah, I don't even honestly.
Who won that game?
I don't think we reported on their grades, or maybe we did.
Yeah. I don't think they qualified. Yeah, one quarterback qualified.
Yeah,
And Nate Peterman, I think, came in the game for injured Tyrod Taylor, I think.
Yeah.
If I remember.
So, all right. Let's move on. We talked about the AFC South, right?
Yeah.
Far too long, in my opinion. So, Alec, let's talk about, we're in the offseason now. You are starting to ramp up your NFL draft analysis. The draft is April 27th?
Yeah, Thursday, April 27th. So me, myself, since I'm a Jags fan, unfortunately, the last decade before this season, haven't had the best run. A lot of top 10 picks in that span. So I'm a big draft guy. I love draft coverage, watching it. So I thought it'd be really cool to, take on being our draft analyst for FATstats, because I think, draft brings so much value and content during the off season. That is just fun
Senior
to cover.
draft analyst.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop you right there real quick. You actually went to the draft.
Yeah, 2013.
2013.
Yeah, I remembered. Jags took Luke Jokel, and I was pretty bummed. I think Vic, one of our other members, still has the video of me being upset. I wanted us to draft Deion Jordan. You can tell us how that went, Bobby. No. I mean, that whole draft was really bad. I should have went to the next year. The next year, we took Blake Bortles. So
that's awesome though that you went to the draft. So I'm sure it was a great experience.
Oh, great experience, and I definitely recommend it. It was fun. It was the second to last draft in New York. Hopefully, it comes to Jacksonville, and I can go out there again.
Mm-hmm. I actually heard Nashville is thinking about hosting it, or they're in contention to host it. 19.
Let's go.
Really? Yeah. Hey, fat draft trip to Nashville or Jacksonville.
Go. Let's do it.
We'll figure it out.
Well, let's mark that down.
So tell us what you got.
All right. So this season, it's going to be my first season. I plan on doing a little scouting report this year. As everyone knows, there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out. 5 in particular that I'm going to grade and give a scouting report on. Those 5 is going to be Josh Rosen, Josh Allen out of Wyoming. We got Sam Darnold out of USC, Baker Mayfield, who I haven't graded yet, but I think personally that's going to be my favorite quarterback. Or we got what's his face?
Lamar Jackson.
You're Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. That's the 5th quarterback. Lamar Jackson, who would be a good fit in Jacksonville. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch about 100 snaps from their last season playing, so the 2017 college season. I'm going to track about 100 snaps, and I'm going to pick a few different games and chart them how we normally grade for FATstats. So I'm going to track whether the pass was accurate, were they under pressure, situational throws, how are they performing on third down, how are they doing on red zone. And after these 100 plays, we're going to get basically a FAT grade for these quarterbacks. And then I'm just going to write a little scouting report. So I'll talk about their strengths, what they're really good at, what they will excel in the NFL in. Then I also talk about their weaknesses, what they need to work on. And I'm also going to, say, are they going to be an elite NFL quarterback? Are they going to be, a solid NFL quarterback? And ultimately where they should go in the draft, because a lot of teams in the top 10 are going to need quarterbacks. So I think all 5 might even go top 15, which is pretty interesting.
Wow. Yep.
It's a lot of quarterbacks.
That'd be crazy. What I'm interested to see is how they grade in regards to our grading system, like what they're going to come out to be. Yeah. I know it's only 100 plays or so of each quarterback, but I'm interested to see what their grade actually comes out to in our standards.
Yeah.
And then how that relates to maybe success in the NFL.
Exactly. And I mean, it also is a different game. I mean, there are different rules in college, but we're going to do our best to transition that grade to what it would look like next level. If you were a team like the Browns, who are you going to draft? Do you take one of these quarterbacks number 1 overall, and we'll see, maybe one of these quarterbacks are worthy of that pick?
The answer is yes, Browns. Cleveland, please, for your fans, take a quarterback.
Take someone else at pick 4. You have 2 picks in the top 4. So
take 2.
Yeah.
Why not?
Trade
right?
one. I mean, hold them ransom. Take Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and trade one of them for 2 first-round picks. What if they did that? What if
they should? It's the most important.
All right, let's tweet the Browns right now and suggest that idea. Draft 2 quarterbacks in the top 4.
My opinion,
Analytics.
I don't know about all that, but take a quarterback at 1, trade your 4 pick. Get more pieces.
They're going to pass on Baker like they did Watson and just watch.
I mean, Baker Mayfield, I think he has that it factor that Watson had that we talked about earlier.
So I know you did a little bit this morning on Josh Rosen.
Yeah, so I started via poll. The first quarterback you guys wanted me to grade and scout was Josh Rosen. So I was able to, just watch 2 quick games. I watched him versus number 11 ranked USC, which is their biggest rival. So it's interesting to see how he's going to perform against his rival. And in that game, I was very impressed with the kid. The first drive of the game, he threw a beautiful, beautiful deep ball to his receiver. He threw it on the money in stride, so the receiver was actually able to pick up more yards. So that was nice to see. And second drive of the game, he comes right back to the same receiver and throws another dime on the money in stride to the receiver. So it was nice to see him being aggressive. So he has a very good deep ball, what I noticed in the 2 games. His pocket presence is really good, and it showed in that USC game.
He looked confident.
He was confident in the pocket. He was stepping up into throws. He didn't look, scared or nervous in the pocket where he was leaving when there was no pressure. He stood in the face of pressure a lot in the 2 games I watched. And the one big red flag in that UFC game was it was 3rd and 12. His team they were down, I think, 21-14 or 14-7. They were down 12. They were down 7, and he's in the red zone. It's a 3rd and 12, and he got greedy and he threw a ball into triple coverage, and the ball was picked off. And that's a mistake that you can't let happen in the NFL. Every point counts in the NFL. If his team got, maybe throw the ball away, live for another down, kick the field goal on 4th down, then it's, a 4-point game and you have a shot, because they did lose this game by 4 or 5 points. So that red zone turnover is huge. And he also fumbled in the red zone. He got sacked. Really wasn't his fault. He was getting ready to throw, and a defensive tackle just made a quick inside move and hit him as he was throwing. So, as FATstat grading, we wouldn't really knock that on him because it really wasn't his fault. His offensive tackle got beat so quick, and he didn't see the pressure coming. But then I watched him against Washington, and I believe that was another game on the road against a ranked opponent. I think they were ranked 12th. And Washington, man, they went after him. He was under constant pressure all game long. He never really looked comfortable like he did against USC. I don't know, maybe Washington had a very good defensive line or just a really good game plan to contain him and make him feel under duress all game. He threw one good TD in that game against Washington. It was in between 3 defenders, so it was a nice tight window throw that you do want to see out of quarterback. And it also helped that it was in the red zone, so making those big time throws in the red zone is what you want out of quarterback. He was knocked out of that game, so I didn't get to really watch a full game of him. I think he had a hand injury, got cut open, taking a sack. But yeah, he was definitely under duress. So just a couple quick things from the 2 games. He has a great arm, very good arm strength. He throws really good deep ball. Like I said, his pocket presence is really good. He has really great anticipation. He throws where the receiver's going to be, and he gives his receivers a chance to run after catch, which is huge, especially in the NFL. You don't want to throw behind the receiver and then have a 4-yard gain instead of a 12-yard gain because you didn't lead your receiver in the right window. So that was really good to see. One knock, the guy has no wheels at all. Like no wheels. I mean, I saw him took off. He did one zone read and
it's like Barry Peyton Manning, Tom Brady-esque type.
Kind of.
Or is he a little bit more mobile than that?
Maybe I don't know. He only took off once. It was a zone read. It was a 3rd and 4, and he couldn't even get the first down. It looked like he was going to get it, and then he just got tackled. And then it was a 3rd and 6 against Washington. He does a really good job of extending the play and getting out of pressure, and he rolls out but instead of taking off for the first down, which he would have easily got, he's just threw it on the run and threw a bad pass.
Interesting.
Team was forced to punt, but he had no wheels that play. You got to make that first down.
So, all right, well, I know you're going to continue. So how many plays is that about that you have so far?
I know the USC game was almost about 20 plays, and the Washington game was about 12 to 15 plays.
Okay. All right.
So I'm still going to watch them. I think I'm doing all my watching on Draft Breakdown. That's where I've been watching a lot of prospects in the past. So they have a couple of games. I think they have the game against Arizona State and Oregon, and there was one more. I think it was Arizona. So I'll probably watch those 3 games and see how we did. But, so far so good. What have I seen?
Okay.
And if you want, there is a little breakdown of the games I saw. I posted a couple videos. Unfortunately, my Snagit's not working on my desktop, so the video quality is not the best. But, you get a general idea of what I'm seeing while I'm grading. So if you check us out on Twitter, at FAT_TeamStats, you can definitely take a look at what I've seen so far.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Yeah. And he'll be posting GIFs and things of that nature. And I know you're going to be breaking them down as you go. So feel free to check that out on Twitter, but also Instagram. We started a little highlight story that will be containing all of our draft analysis in there.
Yeah. Check us out on Twitter.
Awesome, man. So next time you pop on here, we'll be talking more about Josh Allen and Rosen, and then whoever you do next.
We'll see.
So.
The people are going to tell me who to scout, when. So it's definitely going to be those 5 quarterbacks. Unfortunately, Twitter polls only give you 4 choices, so that's why there was only 3 of them and another choice. But it definitely is going to be Rosen, Allen, Jackson, Darnold, and Mayfield. I'm really excited for Mayfield and Jackson, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
Hey, how do you like that Warren Moon jersey behind you?
Honestly, I'm not liking it at all. I don't like this Titans helmet, this Titans we have a Titans, I don't even know.
We got to realize where we are right now.
Honestly, I didn't want to let you in the door with that Jag shirt you're wearing.
Duval.
I think it is really funny that you have a guy Jags shirt on
he was
and
way
over
before my
his
time, so
right shoulder.
I'll respect him, and he was a very good quarterback. I'm sure Warren Moon would have had a very good FAT grade if we were around in his era.
That'd be interesting to see.
Go Fins. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our episode 3. Feel free to reach us on Twitter, FAT_TeamStats, Instagram, FAT_TeamStats. We're also on Facebook. For any readers out there, we produce content on medium.com. This will be on SoundCloud /Fat Team, and will also be on YouTube once we post all this information. So please feel free to get all of that. And then also, I just want to say on a more serious note, recently we just had a very tragic incident happen in Parkland at Stoneman Douglas High School. Extremely sad, and I think I speak for all of us when I say our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to all those families and all the students and faculty and everyone that was affected by that. Extremely sad. So although we're talking football and trying to bring your attention away from some of the more serious matters, it is something that we're thinking about. So we just want to say that. So take care, guys.